I just got emotional out of nowhere. I recorded a TikTok and I put it out there about losing your mom and how it gets better. And I have people saying, I miss her, talking about their own mom, and you're making me cry. And then I start to cry, and it's like, you never know when it's going to hit you. You never know. That wasn't the plan. It was to try to make other people feel better. And here I am, talking about how peaceful it is now. Liar. No, okay, it is, but it still hurts. And I think that's the point of me talking about it, because every time I film an episode, it's like I remove another layer from me that's been heavy. And maybe that's why today, this Mother's Day week, I'm feeling emotional. So let's talk about it.
The Love You Miss You Bye podcast. Let's inspire each other.
Mother's Day is upon us, and I figured this would be a great time to jump on and do a quick episode of Love You Miss You Bye. I'm Christi Chanelle. I was just feeling some emotions today, and I thought that I should get them out. And who better to get them out to than you? You listen. You listen to me. I'm feeling really good, and I wanted to share a little bit of the peace that I've gained over the last almost 25 years. It's going to be 25 years next month. I will be releasing an episode about my mom, but I figured I would wait till her birthday to do that. Yeah, I was feeling a bunch of emotions, but mostly peace. And I wanted to see where you are in your life with your mom. Are you in a place of peace like I am because your parent has passed away? Are you lucky enough to still have your mom in your life? Are you scared that they're getting older and you could lose them? All these things could be what you're feeling for Mother's Day. Are you pissed off at your mom? Was your mom never a mom? I lost my mom almost 25 years ago. It'll be 25 years on June 5th. And yeah, so I started to think back to when I didn't really feel peace and what it was like to face Mother's Day without a mom. It was horrible. I mean, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It was horrible. I was filled with such jealousy of the people that could celebrate their mom, that could buy Mother's Day presents for their mom, that could just show their mom how much they love them. That was the last holiday I had with my mom because she died on June 5th. So that's just a couple weeks after Mother's Day. And I remember I didn't have a lot of money. I was like 24, about to be 25. And, I just didn't have a lot of money. And my stepmom, Vonda, said, we need to make sure that your mom gets the best present ever. And to this day, I'm very, very thankful that she did that for me. My mom never knew it. She's like, let's just keep it between us. And we ended up getting her a necklace and a charm that said, mom on it. And it was so, so pretty. And I was so excited to wrap up that present and send it to my mom because I was living in Texas at the time. And, she was in New Jersey. So I sent her the present. I remember being on the phone with her. We didn't have FaceTime. God, I wish we had FaceTime back then. We barely had internet. And she opened the present on the phone and, started to cry. She loved it. She loved it so much. And that was the last opportunity I had to show her how much she meant to me. And I'm thankful that Vonda gave me that opportunity. Yeah, I would have gotten something for my mom, but it was gold. It was something she could wear every day, and it brought her to tears, and I'm just grateful. I'm grateful that I had that Mother's Day and all the Mother's Days before that with her. I never took it for granted. Sure, we got into maybe an argument here and there. None that I can really remember 25 years later, but I was a teenager, so I'm sure I was a pain in the ass. But she just loved me so very much. So much so that 25 years later, I feel every bit of it still. I can still hear her voice. I still know what she would say to me. I know how proud she'd be right now of this podcast. Yeah, I'm just grateful. I just have happiness to know that she was my mom and that we had the best relationship possible. And I'm wondering, as I'm feeling this peace, are you feeling this pain? Are you hurting because you don't have her anymore? I truly didn't think that I would ever get past that pain. When I heard that she died, I don't know that I've ever experienced such pain. I can't even think of another word to describe the pain. It was like suffocation. And I remember being very in tune with what I was feeling. And so I had a diary that my Aunt Karen gave me to write everything that I was feeling so I could get it out. And I was describing in my diary just not being able to breathe, feeling like I was in a box and the cover was closed. And no matter what I did, I couldn't get out of that box. So much so that I started to stop feeling completely. I stopped feeling. I didn't want to feel. I didn't want to know that I would have another memory without her. It didn't seem fair. I didn't want to know that I could go through pain without her because she was the one that I would talk about my pain with. And I say that I'm in peace, and I am. But that doesn't mean it doesn't hurt sometimes. And when you talk about it, it brings it up. And like I said, I was all about covering it up because I didn't want to feel that type of pain. So it was like I was walking through life, getting married and not feeling anything. It's like I was sleepwalking because it didn't seem fair to feel any kind of joy without her. I wanted her to share every memory I had, and she couldn't. She wasn't here, and I didn't know how to function. I was lost because we were almost codependent on each other. You know, it's like anything I did, I would talk to her. Anything I thought, I would ask her. And she just was there. It just seemed like she was put on this earth to just love me. I know it sounds crazy, but she did. She was my biggest fan, my biggest cheerleader. And now it was gone. Who would ever be able to fill that role for me? No one. I would learn that. Although I would try to find somebody to fill that role, whether it was in my boyfriends or my spouses, whatever it was, I was looking for somebody to fill the hole inside my heart, inside my soul. And no one would ever, 25 years later, fill it but me. I had to fill that hole myself. And I had to learn to keep going. I had a child. At 24, I had a child, Austin, and I had to be a mom. So I had to survive it. I had to get through it. I still feel guilty about it though, because I don't know how long I was sleepwalking. And my child, probably didn't understand what his mommy was going through and how one day she was one way and the next day she was somebody else. I don't know. I don't know. So I have sadness about what he had to endure watching me navigate myself after such a tragedy. Now I can look back and realize I don't think I could have done it any differently. I don't know that there would be a way to do it any differently. I had to go through it in my own way and in my own time. And maybe maybe I can share my pain and how I overcame it with you. And if you haven't lost a parent, I know feelings may jump into your head and you just push them out and you're like, okay, well, one day I won't have my parents. What am I going to do when I don't have my parents? Because even at 15, even at 20, I had those thoughts because I actually kind of knew my intuition. And I've told you before, I feel energy. I've had dreams. Yeah, I've had all that kind of stuff happen. And back then, I was having dreams that she was going to die. I know right now you're like, now we know Christi is crazy. And I didn't know what those dreams were about. I just thought it was me, being scared because I love somebody so much that I don't want to lose them. It was my intuition. I knew. She knew. She actually had a talk with me one time where she said, I don't know that I'm going to be here after 40 and I'm going to need you to carry on. I'm going to need you to be okay because you're my life. And she made it past her 40th birthday, but she didn't make it past her 44th. She died 2 days before her 45th birthday. She just had a knowing. She just knew. So I know what it's like to feel like you could lose a parent and to be terrified of it. But luckily you haven't yet. And you get to spend these next years showing them how valuable they are to you. I can tell you that one of the things I never had and that I always kind of regretted was the fact that I didn't get to see my mom through adult eyes. As a human, I thought of her as superhuman. I didn't get to ask those questions that happen, as you're going through perimenopause or, you're getting older. What's going through your mind? What's it like? What was it like having me leave home? All those questions that are happening to me that I would love my mom to be around to tell me some of her wisdom. That's what I miss. And you get those opportunities. So in that way, I'm envious. But as weird as this sounds, I'm so glad I don't have to go through that pain now. Maybe you're in a situation where you don't talk to your mom anymore. Maybe she wasn't the mom that you needed. And you got older and realized, I don't need that in my life. So Mother's Day isn't fun for you because you feel gypped. You feel cheated. And you were. You absolutely were. But hopefully, if you decide to have children or if you have children, that you can break that chain and be the mother that you wish you had. I see a lot of people doing it and I'm so proud of them. So I guess what my message is today, that if you have your mom, send them love. And if you don't, you'll find peace one day. I did. I'm so thankful. And every time I see a daisy, I know she's with me. Happy Mother's Day. No matter what cycle of life you are in with your parent, I want you to have peace and love. And I hope that you can love yourself through the pain. Happy Mother's Day. You got this, kid.
Love you, miss you, bye.
LUMUB podcast.
Love You Miss You Bye has been brought to you by Christi Chanelle, LLC. But if you're looking for more information or want to follow us on social media, go check out ChristiChanelle.com. All the podcasts are streamed there and the YouTube episodes are there. So why not? You can also listen where all podcasts are streamed. This includes Apple Podcasts and Spotify. And lastly, thank you to you, the one that's listening or watching. I appreciate you so much. Love you, miss you, bye.